listening to PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome to Animal Rights on Pet Life Radio. This is your host, Tim Link, and I thank you so much for joining us today. My guest today is freelance writer, blogger, and editor CeliaSue Hecht. And CeliaSue will be on here talking to us today about her blog, Have Dog, Blog, Will Travel, which includes her life and times with her dog Cici and a lot of other helpful articles and advice and tips. Great site. So we'll give everybody the website later to check it out. But before we get CeliaSue on board, I always like to give everybody helpful hints, tips, ideas, things that I think that are interesting, and I'm sure you'll find them interesting as well. And one of the topics that came out recently, especially as we're getting into the springtime, is how often do I bathe my dog? How often should we be bathing our dogs? Some people think it should be a daily occurrence because if it's anything like my dogs, they can get into a lot of dirt and muck and things in the backyard. But you've got to be careful about bathing them too much because you don't want to bathe out all those wonderful oils and things that make their coat conditioned well. So you know what I always tell people that it really depends on your pet that you have and the preference. So the type of dog you have and your personal preference. So for me, I have a Schnauzer in our family. And our beautiful boy is a wonderful dog, and for the most part, his head and his back are often groomed very short, so they stay fairly clean and they don't attract much of the environment or any of the stray things that attach to a dog when they're out and about in the backyard or taking a long walk. However, he does have a long beard and he does have a long skirt, so around his feet and his legs and underneath his belly, there's this long skirt, and that seems to attract everything, every leaf, every stick, every dirt particle in his big backyard. So I tell people that some of the things to consider when determining if it's the right time to bathe your dog should include your dog's hair or coat type, the length of the coat, where he or she spends most of their time, whether mostly indoors or the outdoors, the shedding cycle. As we're getting warmer weather, we're going to see a lot more shedding, and allergens, both your allergens and allergens the dog may have to the environment, as well as any skin issues that you're aware of that your dog may have. So some dogs need bathed only a few times a year, if you believe that or not. They absolutely do, while others need weekly bathing. One of the things you can definitely do to help out is to brush your dog out regularly to help maintain the coat and avoid any mats in the fur and keep your dog clean. And I believe that bathing your dog every month is reasonable. I think that's fair enough. If you've gotten into some excess trouble or dirt out there, if you've gone on a long walk, you may have to bathe them a little bit sooner. But I think once a month is definitely a good rule of thumb. Some dogs, as I said earlier, may need to be bathed more frequently and some may need to be fully groomed on a more regular basis. So, once again, the good rule of thumb is to bathe your pet when its coat gets dirty and the dog begins to smell like a dog. You can also consult your local groomer, your favorite groomer, or your veterinarian for further advice and tips. And as always, you can go to the Animal Rights blog and Animal Rights site on Pet Life Radio and learn a little bit more about this. So keep those dogs bathed and groomed. Make sure they don't smell like a dog, and you're going to be good to go. It's a little helpful advice from their Uncle Tim there. So we're going to go to a quick little break, but we're going to come right back with CeliaSue Hecht and her dog Cici to talk about all their wonderful travels and adventures. You're listening to Pet Life Radio. This is Animal Rights on Pet Life Radio.
Sit. Stay. We'll be right back after a short pause. Well, 4 to be exact.
We really love pets. There isn't anything we won't do to make sure they're getting the best products and the best care. So when you ask us a question like,
so how do you feel about cat condos?
We can say from experience,
feels like home for her.
Enter the code LUCKY10, LUCKY, the number 10, and get 10% off any order. No minimum at petco.com.
FTD's network of over 40,000 florists around the world have been creating beautiful handcrafted arrangements for 100 years. Each arrangement is delivered the same day and backed by FTD's 7-day satisfaction guarantee. For a century, people have trusted their most important occasions to the flower experts at FTD.
Since Pet Life Radio is all about puppy dogs and flowers, our listeners, that's you, can get a 20% discount on your order. Just go to fluorop.com and use the code LUCKIES20 at checkout. FLEUROP.com. Code word LUCKYS and the number 20.
How would you like your business to reach out and invite in our audience?
We have a brand new trademark concept called Info Seeds. Info Seeds are short 20-second seeds of information about your place of business, practice, or service.
We only have a limited number of slots left. For more information, visit PetLifeRadio.com. Click on sponsorship information.
There you can listen to a sample of Info Seed or email us at
PetLifeRadio.com. Remember, only a limited number of opportunities are available.
Got questions about your hound's health? Need the facts on Fido's fitness or food? You want to unleash your pup's potential? Well, you've come to the right place with Win with Dogs. Here, we learn how easy it is to naturally improve the lives of our furry friends. So sit, stay, and get ready to win with dogs. With me, Raquel Wynn. Exercise, nutrition, interaction, and love make for one healthy, happy hound. Give yourself the gift of knowledge on demand every week right here at Pet Life Radio with me, Raquel Wynn, and Win with Dogs.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back. Welcome back. You're listening to Animal Rights on Pet Life Radio. And joining me now is freelance writer, blogger, editor, and doggy aficionado, CeliaSue Hecht. CeliaSue's here to talk to us about her dog Cici and all the wonderful travels that she's had and experiences she's had with Cici and all the other tips and advice she has. Now, CeliaSue's work has been featured in more than 40 publications, including the Bay Area Wolf, Petfolio, and Entrepreneur. And you can obviously see her and learn a little bit more about her as well as all the wonderful tips and escapades by going to her blog site, Have Dog Blog Will Travel. CeliaSue Hecht, welcome to Animal Rights on Pet Life Radio.
Thank you, Tim. I've been looking forward to talking to you.
Oh, my pleasure too. It's always great, and obviously I've had a chance to converse with you in the past and had a chance to talk to Cici and give you a little bit of tidbit there, and I just think your blog site's wonderful. So, tell us a little bit about how Have Dog Blog Will Travel. I'll get this out sooner or later. Have Dog Blog Will Travel. I'll say it multiple times. Sure. Have Dog Blog Will Travel. Tell us about the site and how that came about.
Yeah, sure. Well, about 3 years ago, people were telling me, you have to have a blog, you're a writer, and I didn't know what a blog was. And I have co-authored 5 romantic travel guides. I've been a travel writer in the past and, done some of that. And I thought, that would be fun, but let's, instead of writing romance, how about writing about my dog? Yeah. At the time, my dog had just been run over by a car, and she was... she had to be constrained for a few months. So we were sort of in this place of where, oh my gosh, if you've ever had any kind of problems with your dog like that, when they've had an illness or an accident, you know what I'm talking about. And so I had to keep her, quiet and so on and so forth. And which meant also that I couldn't go very far anywhere. And basically, so I kept her tethered in the house to keep her from running and jumping anywhere. She had a broken her femur bone and had to have 3 surgeries on the leg. So we had to keep the leg quiet. And so during that time, I started the blog and was dreaming about all the travels we had done previous to that. And we were living in Nevada at the time. Now we're living in California. But we had traveled to Oregon that past summer, and we had traveled to different places in Nevada and California. So I wrote about our everyday life as well as the travels, that we had done. And then within a few short months, I'd say about 6 months, we actually started traveling again and traveled for about 2 years. So the blog just became a way to share with people about all the different places that we went to. And we visited Mendocino. We visited everywhere in California, from Mendocino down to Southern California, San Diego. So and all the places in between. And so what I found kind of missing from other places on pets online about travel was there are a lot of places, and they usually tell you about their advertisers. Mm-hmm. But they don't really tell you about the other bed and breakfasts and inns and hotels in kind of out of the way places. So we actually found about 75, 80 places, very few of which are listed on any of the regular pet-friendly go-to sites of where to stay. And we were invited to stay at just amazing places and got to have many, many fun adventures. And I came up with the Bay Area Wolf asked me to write some articles, and I wrote one article about dogitude. I found that a lot of places that say pet-friendly hotels and inns and bed and breakfast say that they're pet-friendly, but they really weren't.
Yeah, they don't want to, as long as you keep your pet locked up and it doesn't bark or pant or anything like that.
Yeah, exactly. As long as your dog doesn't breathe, it's fine. And, they have breed restrictions, or they have to be under 25 pounds, or they have to,
Right.
So I came up with a system I call dogitude of rating, places, which, really tells people if they really are dog-friendly or not. Some of them really are. Some of them are amazing at the extent of their dog friendliness with, dog menus and dog massage and dog yoga and all kinds of pampering. So that's really wonderful. But also what's important, I think, is the staff. Do they really know anything about pets and where to go and activities in the area and so on and so forth. And, a lot of them do, but some of them don't at all. So we made quite a few really interesting discoveries and found places that people wouldn't normally think to take their dog. For instance, Cici is a real, I guess I should tell you a little bit about my girl. She's 4.5 years old. I rescued her when she was 6 months old. She's part Dalmatian and part American Pit Bull Terrier. She's a real social butterfly. She loves people. Anywhere we go, she loves people. So I found that taking her to a mall, into stores where they allow dogs, is just one of her favorite things to do.
Mm-hmm. Who doesn't like to go shopping, right?
Who doesn't like to go shopping? But most people feel like they can't really go shopping with their dog. And I found, so many places, different chains as well as regular stores. We're here in the Carmel, Monterey area. There's a shopping center called the Del Monte Shopping Center. And Macy's, Borders, all these places allow dogs to come inside their store.
Wow,
and most people wouldn't think to bring that. Yeah. So it's kind of nice. And, everybody knows Carmel and Mendocino are kind of dog crazy. And outside, the dogs have their water bowls, and you can eat with the dogs in the restaurants.
Yeah, just a little pampered pooches there.
Exactly. But, you would be surprised at how people always say, "Are you kidding? You can bring your dog here?" So, they're even surprised that, like, we'll sit in a lobby, let's say, of a hotel that allows dogs, and people didn't even know that hotel allows you to bring dogs in there. So, she's a very good ambassador for her breed, number one, because she's very, very friendly, and she's adorable, so people just love her right away. And number two, she just is an ambassador for the hotels to, let people know, yes, we are pet friendly. And so that makes it a win-win-win for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there are some communities like in Mendocino and Idlewild, for instance, where they're kind of smaller communities, and they just really put out the welcome mat for the canines. You can go to the botanical gardens with your dog up in Mendocino, tiptoe through the tulips. There's an ice cream store where they give pooches free ice cream in the summertime.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, so it's, and so I tell people on my blog all these kinds of tidbits. And I have created out of our travels about a 200-something page travel e-guide called California Canine Adventures, which gives you all the nitty-gritty info about where to go, where to stay, what to do in each community. And right now, we're not traveling. We are talking, though, about where to go on spring break. Spring break is coming up, and people often, maybe you don't have college students or you're not a college student, but maybe you just want to get away anyway. And if you want to get away, maybe you want to bring your pet. So I put out the request to people and asking them, okay, well, where's a good place to take your dog for spring break, like all over the country? And because I want to really expand, we've basically been talking about California, maybe a little bit Nevada and Oregon, and I really want to expand to the entire country. So I've written about New York now, and that was yesterday actually, and so other places all across the country.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic, and you can read more about that on your site, How Dog Blog Will Travel, and I think people need to know that. It's important. I know we have our little schnauzer, Buzz, and his brother was with us up until last year, and he made his transition, but his brother was a little too intense to take to places. Buzz is definitely the social hound, and so the good news is, we've had opportunities to take him to places that I didn't think would accept dogs. We had a nice lunch last weekend on the patio of a Mexican restaurant. And so my wife and I had lunch. We asked them ahead of time. They said, sure. So we got Buzz's favorite little mat, put it in his chair. He sat there like a proper gentleman and let us eat our fajitas, and he was good to go. He was happy with just being there, being part of the experience.
Yeah, years ago, people used to hide their pets, or they would, get a smoke-filled room. and it's really been changing a lot over the last years. Millions of people, I'm trying to remember the statistic. I think there's like 80 million people with pets in America now, 75 million to 80 million.
Yeah, there are more pets in households than there are children nowadays. So
yeah, exactly. And so out of that, I would say, maybe 25-30% of people want to travel with their pets. And so they want to know where to go and what to do and what's fun and, what's acceptable and all that. And so, that's kind of our niche. And I found also that most campgrounds in California, you can bring your pet. Some charge, $1 or $2 a night. So people like to know all that kind of information ahead of time. They don't want to just show up in a town and go, okay, now what do we do?
Exactly.
They like to plan. They like to plan and organize, and like I thought, oh, wouldn't it be fun to go to Amish country in Pennsylvania for spring break, and maybe go to Hershey Park.
But no chocolate for Cici.
Because no chocolate for Cici, but I'm a chocoholic, right? But then I found out that they are not pet friendly anywhere, not even in their campground.
Oh goodness, that's goodness.
So they have a hotel and a motel and a campground and a bunch of things. So dogs are not allowed, except in the summertime. They have a barking lot, which it sounds like you just park your dog and go.
There you go.
But other than that, dogs aren't allowed. But there are amusement parks. I'm going to be writing about this sometime before the summer. There are amusement parks where dogs are allowed, and of course, service dogs are allowed wherever you go, even the supermarket.
That's right.
But if you don't have a service dog, you want to know, some ferries, some trains, there's now even a pet airways.
Yeah, our good friend Ardmore of Oh Behave on Pet Life Radio, she's heavily involved in that and have helped them set that whole program up. So it's a wonderful, wonderful way to go. Well, hold on tight. We're going to go to commercial break. We're going to come right back with CeliaSue Hecht to talk a little bit more about traveling with dogs and Cici. And I want to talk to you a little bit about your blog, too, because it's very, very successful. So I want to talk to you about that. So hang tight just for a moment. You're listening to Animal Rights on Pet Life Radio.
Sit. Stay. We'll be right back after a short pause. Well, 4 to be exact.
Love your pets but wish their medications were a lot less expensive? They are at 1-800-PET-MEDS. You'll not only save on flea and heartworm medications, but on prescriptions for arthritis, incontinence, thyroid, and more. And you get fast service, free shipping, and a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Plus, our licensed pharmacists ensure accuracy, monitor drug interaction, and more. See why over 5 million people have trusted their pet's health to 1-800-PET-MEDS, America's largest pet pharmacy. Call now or order online.
Go to petmeds.com/lucky, LUCKY, to get 10% off any order and free shipping on orders of $39 or more at petmeds.com.
There's a movement afoot. ShoeBuy.com. Join the millions of people who shop ShoeBuy.com's over 400 brands and 500,000 products. Order now and get free shipping and free return shipping. ShoeBuy.com, the world's greatest shoe store.
Walk your dog in style and comfort. Enter the code LUCKY, LUCKY, at checkout and get a 10% discount plus free shipping at ShoeBuy.com.
How would you like your business to reach out and invite in our audience? We have a brand new trademark concept called InfoSeeds. InfoSeeds are short 20-second seeds of information about your place of business, practice, or service. Is the best, most cost-effective way to invite us in. We only have a limited number of slots left. For more information, visit the website
PetLifeRadio.com.
Click on sponsorship information. There you can listen to a sample of InfoSeed. Remember, only a limited number of opportunities are available.
Hi, this is Marcy Davis and my service dog Whistle, and we're your hosts of Working Like Dogs on Pet Life Radio. Working Like Dogs is the show where you can learn everything you ever wanted to know about working animals or working dogs. Whether you're a member of a working dog team or you've just seen a working dog or animal out at the mall or the grocery store and you're curious about how these amazing animals work with their human partners, then Working Like Dogs is the show for you. Join us for the inside scoop at Working Like Dogs on PetLifeRadio.com.
Let's talk pets.
Let's talk pets
On Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back. Welcome back to Animal Rights on Pet Life Radio. We are here today with CeliaSue Hecht, talking to us a little bit about traveling with our dogs and talking about her blog, Have Dog Blog Will Travel. Now, CeliaSue, I know your blog has received over 168,000 views. Let me ask you, what does it take, do you think, to be a successful writer and a successful blogger?
Actually, Tim, we're nearing 200,000.
Wow, there you go. See, all in one day. And after this show,
not in one day.
That's right. After this show airs, it'll be closer to 1 million. I'm sure it will happen.
we get about 10,000 views in a month. Sometimes more, sometimes less. You know, the most we ever had was about 1,000 in one day.
Wow.
But what it takes to be a successful blogger, well, I think with any kind of writing, you know, write about something that you love to write about, something that you're passionate about. And then, you know, and then you're going to want to keep on doing it. What I understand is that a lot of bloggers start and they're just, you know, trying to make some money, or they're, you know, think it would be fun or whatever. But within a couple of months or maybe a couple of weeks, that's it. They're done.
Yeah, they exactly. And they lose their momentum. They don't realize how much work it is. And, you know, if you, I'm sure if you miss a day or miss a week without blogging, people will find another blog site to look at.
Well, I actually found this. I have been, I was ill last year. And so there was a kind of a time period where I was not blogging every day like I normally do, sometimes twice a day. So there was a time period where I was maybe blogging once a week. And I was able to maintain my momentum because I had set things up ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
And I really, I there was a decrease, don't get me wrong, to the traffic. But I had set things up so where I had linked, I get links from other bloggers, so people can go, let's say, to dogjaunt.com, and she writes about traveling with her small pet. She has a small dog. So, they might go there and see that Mary Alice has a link to my blog and link to my blog from there, as well as a whole slew of other blogs. And so that traffic just keeps on coming. Plus the fact that at the beginning, I really made a concerted effort to promote my blog in the mainstream media as well as online media. So there's all that out there. And so, if you know how to do promotion, which I do, then, it was pretty easy for me to get my blog promoted. Could I have done more? Could I do more? Yes, you can always do more.
Absolutely.
Because now I see people who started more recently and they get more traffic than I do. But, what is success to you? You kind of have to keep that at the forefront, too. I don't believe in just getting traffic for the sake of traffic.
You want people to get something out of it, walk away with something that will help them or help their pets. And if you're promoting a product or service, then, get them to take a look at that, too, while you're there.
Exactly. And I've always tried to have something, a picture, a video. I try to make people laugh, or I try to inform, educate people about whatever it is that I'm writing about. And that's where I've come from the beginning. So I write in that vein. Sometimes I get long-winded and rant and rave and get on my soapbox about an issue like breed-specific legislation. But I try to make it a fun experience for people, so that they can come and they can just listen to a music video, or watch dog surfing, or something that'll make them laugh and brighten their day.
That's a good idea. Now, I know we talked a lot about travel and having a lot of travel connections on the website, on the blog. But what else can people find there if they went to take a look at it? And of course, give us the website where they can take a look at it.
Yeah, my website is CeliaSue.wordpress.com, and that's the main site. And so, I just wrote, somebody asked me to write, not really a product review, but just to write about feeding your dog raw food, because I've been experimenting with that. I also tend to write about eco-friendly things, green-friendly, and, healthy ways to help your pet. So I've written about homemade dog biscuits and, treats and how to make them and recipes, to, don't ever use tea tree oil. That is like one of the most popular blog posts I've ever written. People are very much into alternative treatments for their pets these days, anything from, massage to aromatherapy. And, they appreciate the tips. I think it was during the time that Cici was not well, she had developed a rash, and she also had developed an ear infection. And I was considering giving her putting tea tree oil in her ears. And thankfully, before I did it, I talked to a friend of mine, and she said, no, don't ever do this. And she told me about putting too much tea tree oil on her dog, and it had a very bad reaction. And so I did some research, and I wrote a blog post about it. And every single day, people come to that blog post and read about tea tree oil. So it's quite interesting that, people just want to know. I say that it's also about traveling through life with the dog. A few weeks ago, my dog got skunked. And I wrote about that experience.
Did you use the old tomato juice wash?
We did not do tomato juice. I actually found that if you use, it's a combination of hydrogen peroxide, which sounds really terrible.
Right.
But there's a whole formula that I found that really, really worked. But, I just talked about the whole experience and what we went through and what we did to combat the skunk. So I was laughing when you were talking about washing your pet because of just having had that experience a few weeks ago.
Oh, yes.
But, dogs like to get into stinky things besides that, too.
Yeah, if they find anything that's stinky on the ground, they're going to rub on it and rub in it. I know that for sure.
And eat it.
Or eat
and,
it. If they can't eat it, they'll rub on it.
So I write about all the different experiences. We used to go to the dog park a lot. We don't do that anymore. But I'll write about, my dog's experiences with the neighbor dogs. Just kind of everyday experiences that, probably everybody else has with their dog. But I just, write about it, and especially because I think that it's relatable to other people. They can understand, my dog does that too, or what should I do if my dog gets skunked? Well, they can come to my blog and find out.
That's right. So everyday common things you often learn from your own experiences, but now you can share them with everybody else.
Well, I found out what to do because somebody else had written about it. So, I think it's just good to get information and first-hand practical information from people who've been there and done that. So, that's what I try to provide for people. Maybe they didn't come across somebody else's, but they'll come across mine. And they'll say, gee whiz, what do I do? Help. And I get, some people who want to know, let's say they're traveling to San Diego and maybe they're afraid that their dog won't know how to swim. And what if they get caught up in the waves? So I try to provide, tips, travel tips, as well as that everyday stuff.
That's always good to know. That's fantastic. Well, everybody can check it out. The blog is Have Dog Blog Will Travel. It's with CeliaSue Hecht, and Cici's all over that website as well. And you can go to the website, which is CeliaSue.wordpress.com. It's CeliaSue.wordpress.com. So, CeliaSue, I want to thank you. It's always a pleasure talking to you. It's a pleasure to read your site. Give Cici some big hugs from us. And we thank you for being on Animal Rights on Pet Life Radio.
Thank you so much.
All right. Well, we're coming to the end of our show today. So I want to thank everybody for listening to Animal Rights on Pet Life Radio. Also, a big thank you again for CeliaSue Hecht coming on board. Check out her blog, Have Dog Blog Will Travel. And you won't be disappointed. Check it out daily because there's always wonderful stuff on there. So thanks to CeliaSue Hecht for being on the show today. Thank you to our sponsors and producers for putting on another fabulous show. Hope everybody enjoyed it. To find out more about me, Tim Link, and our other guests that have interviewed on Animal Rights Show, you can go to the website. It's PetLifeRadio.com. Click on the Animal Rights icon and get a little bit more informed. And also check out all the other wonderful hosts and other shows that we have. There's a whole cavalcade of wonderful programs on Pet Life Radio, and you can check it out at PetLifeRadio.com. So if you have any questions for me, any comments or ideas for a show, people you'd like to have interviewed on the show, please email me. You can email me at tim@petliferadio.com. That's tim@petliferadio.com. And I'll do my very best to answer your questions, entertain your comments, and see if we can get the people you want to hear the most on the show. So until next time, write a great story about the animals in your life. Share it on a blog, an article, or a book. And who knows, you may be the next guest on Animal Rights on Pet Life Radio. Have a great day.
Let's Talk Pets, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.